The light rail network is the largest infrastructure project ever undertaken in the ACT, and it was a long time in the planning. Successive governments raised it as a possibility, long before any commitment was ever made. Tom Lowry looks back on light rail's journey.
The decades-old vision of light rail is now a reality. The idea is almost as old as Canberra itself, but only started to be taken seriously around 16 years ago.
It'll mean looking at the feasibility of light rail proposals between Gungahlin Civic and other areas. It'll look at the costs, it will look at whether it's viable.
It wasn't always going to Gungahlin.
The government now favours an inner-city option linking Civic with places like Barton, Russell, Kingston and Manuka.
Great development opportunity in places like Civic West.
Light rail in some form was kicked around for years. The Stanhope government wanted help from Capitol Hill.
Light rail is something that fits within the parameters of the sorts of projects the Commonwealth said that it would like to support.
And the Canberra Liberals weren't always opposed.
What we are committing to is doing not a token study, but doing a comprehensive analysis of whether or not light rail could work in the ACT.
It wasn't until the eve of the 2012 ACT election that things got serious.
We think it will support jobs. We think it's a visionary project that will help transform the city.
A post-election deal with the Greens to form government cemented its future, and dedicated political opponents emerged.
Now is not the time to be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a tram track between the city and Gungahlin that we simply cannot afford.
Work began on creating the largest infrastructure project the ACT has ever seen, with a price tag of around $600 million. It was the Labor-Greens government's signature project and biggest political target.
We will terminate contracts to construct light rail.
The Canberra Liberals promised to kill the project if they won the 2016 election.
That's why I won't build the tram. I'll fix the health system. I'll rebuild Canberra Hospital.
But the sod had been turned, and Labor and the Greens won office again. Construction was undoubtedly disruptive. Trees came down on Northbourne Avenue. Traffic was slow, roads were clogged, and some businesses suffered. The construction cost ballooned, coming in over $700 million, and it'll cost more than $900 million by the time the final payment is made. It didn't open by Christmas 2018, as promised.
We're simply not going to rush it in order to meet a deadline. We are going to make sure it's done safely and of the highest quality.
But today, finally, passengers were able to get on board. Tom Lowry, ABC News, Canberra.